incredible. We have one volunteer who wants to get up here. This is an incredible opportunity, by the way, to come up here and tell us your story of Toastmasters in 1 minute, though. I only give you 1 minute. I think your hand was up first. Here. Please give it Stephanie, fantastic. Give it up for Stephanie, please. And you tell us your story. Are you ready?
First time I thought about going to Toastmasters, I was about 21 and I was also a little bit on the shy side. I had a backroom sort of job in a research company. I worked with pens and paper and computers, and I didn't really work with people. And I got told, next week, you are presenting to the head of a national charity which shall remain nameless. Panic stations. What am I going to do? Well, what do? Google was just starting to be a thing, so I Googled public speaking training. Somebody, somewhere, is going to tell me how to deal with this, because I am not going in there and standing in front of a room full of important people. Little mousy me. So I Googled and I found an organisation called Beaconsfield Speakers, who were part of some other big thing called Toastmasters, which might or might not be a cult, but you know at this point I'm not. So there we are. I turned up and they helped me out and I presented and the floor did not swallow me, and 15 odd years later I was still in Toastmasters because Toastmasters is great.
Okay, that was Stephanie. Not only me here. Incredible. Well, today you're going to compete. I mean, some of you have competed already. Part 1, humorous speech contest. Then the next one is coming, which is table topics, right? In other words, you're going to write a new chapter of your book, right? We all have a book. Maybe you've not written it yet, but I want to let you know that we're all writing our own story in some way, somehow. Now, Toastmasters is just a little part of what we do. We have relationships, we have husbands, wives, jobs, other things, right? But I believe that every single book starts with page 1, right? And that page 1 might not necessarily be the moment you were born, but page 1 to me, it's something that really defines you as who you are. For me, it's Paul Donald Cannon. I changed the slide already, sorry. And for me, today, I was invited to share my story and tell you a little bit about who I am and what made me, I suppose, Paul Donald Cannon. Now, to do that, I need to take you back to 2007. Picture this. I'm 10 years old. It's mid-morning in school. But the corridors are dark. I'm standing in front of a toilet mirror, staring at my reflection. Who am I? Now, all of a sudden, I hear the tones coming from that dark corridor. Hey, you! Come out here. We're going to kick your... You know what I'm talking about, eh? I said to myself, excuse me. I want no smoke there. Now, there are different thoughts running through my mind. Thoughts on this side are telling me to fight them back. Because I'm a King Kong, got nothing on me type of character. Then there's a voice on this side. He's telling me to run away. There's one voice right here in the middle. That's my mother's voice. Quick question here. Do we all have or had a supportive mother? Yeah. Can you give me a raise of hands here? Yes, pretty much everybody, right? So my mother is just like that. Every morning before school, she would wake me up and she would say, "Oh, Donald, you're different. Embrace that. Paul Donald, you're different. Embrace that. Paul Donald, you are different. Embrace that. Embrace that." I'm thinking to myself, it's okay for my mom to say that. She looks like everyone else. But look at yourself, Paul Donald. You are a freak. None of those boys look like you. You're 1 foot taller than all of them. Your eyes are big. Your lips are wide. Your nose is thick. Your hair is long and curly. Okay, those were the glory days. You're the only black kid in your school. As a matter of fact, you're the only black kid in your city, in Russia. And guess what? Your daddy's not around to come and save you. So what are you going to do? Brace that. Take a step back. Think I know what I'm going to do. I push the toilet door and I run right outside the corridor. Basketball guys. I shut my ears to the tones that follow me like a shadow, and I keep running, not knowing where I'm going. Now, bear with me on this one, because I find myself in the middle of nowhere. I mean, all I can see is some shops around me right now. I'm outside of my school. But their voice, I keep on hearing. Paul Donald, you're different. Embrace that. Embrace that. As I'm lifting my head, I'm seeing this poster. This massive poster for the window of the shop. Now the poster is about 20 feet tall, stretching from one side of the wall, Toastmasters, to another. And on that poster, I see a black, muscular man with a bow. And he is doing the most aerobatic, incredibly powerful and graceful move towards the basketball rim. And I say to myself, who is that person? Who is that? I run into the shop and I ask the owner, excuse me, sir, who is that person on the poster? The owner laughs at me and says, big man, don't you know who that person is? Everybody in the world knows who that person is. It's Air Michael Jordan. Whoa. Air Michael Jordan. I thought to myself. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because I thought to myself, what if I can become the next Michael Jordan of my city? How about that? What if I can make basketball my quest in life and start shooting all my insecurities out of the way? What if this is who I'm meant to become? Unstoppable and unapologetic, just like Michael Jordan did for the game of basketball. That same moment, I reach for my pocket and I buy myself, guess what?
A basketball.
A basketball. That's right, Dominic. I buy myself a basketball. And the rest, I guess, as they say, is history. You know why? Because that day when I bought my basketball, I fell in love with the game. I found that something that didn't care about my skin color, they didn't care about my complexity, nothing. All they cared about was that I can score that basket. So I started playing the ball at the age of 10. By the age of 16 or so, you can see some pictures of me here. I made my first debut playing for college/uni. I can't remember that time now, but it was a long time ago, eh? Playing for a team, making it. building myself up, day by day. That's more photos of me in motion, with the ball. I had hair back then as well. To then, making my first semi-professional debut as a basketball player in Russia. Give it up for Paul Don. Now, as you know anything about professional sports in general, when you're playing at a semi-professional level, at some point, you have to think about what's next. Right? You have to think about what's next. Now, I was born to a family, like I told you. This is me, by the way. Can you give me that? Aww. Thank you. This is my mom. She's from Russia. And this is my dad. He's from Cameroon. Now, if you know anything about African families, or partially African families, you really have three prophecies in life. Three prophecies in life. Some of my friends are laughing, they don't know what I'm talking about. Three prophecies in life. Prophecy number one. Anybody can guess? Engineer. Prophecy number two.
Doctor.
Doctor. Exactly, doctor. And prophecy number three. Lawyer. Right, lawyer. Now, whilst I was playing basketball, I thought, you know what? Maybe this is something for me to think about. Long-term career. What can I do once I finish playing the game of basketball? But you know what? Maybe healthcare professional. So I decided to pack my bags back in 2016 and make it all the way here. United Kingdom. Guess what? To start doing what? Selling drugs. Not that kind of drugs, okay? Because I know some of you are like, Randy, who did you get up here on stage? This is not the kind of workshop I'm talking about right now. Maybe afterwards we can. But I decided to embark on the journey of becoming a pharmacist in the United Kingdom. And this is what I did. I got a conditional offer from the University of Manchester to study pharmacy. Now, when I got that offer, fellow Toastmasters, I felt like an imposter. I'll explain to you why. Because I told you earlier, when I started playing basketball at the age of 10, I had a lot of doubts about myself. Growing up in Russia, not having a lot of friends around me, looking apart from anybody else. But then basketball came into the picture. And it allowed me to build myself up, build my confidence up. And thanks to that game, because I found that's something that I was good at, right? I took that confidence and I started applying it into my school. So I focused on three subjects. I kept it very simple. Chemistry, bio, and maths. Which then allowed me to get into the University of Manchester School. But even when I got that conditional offer from them, I still couldn't believe my eyes. Because I thought, wow, somebody who couldn't quite believe in himself at the age of 10, and throughout the whole teenage, because it's never like that, it's always up and down, right? I was able to get a university place to study one of the most difficult degrees. So there was 2017, I got into university, and fast forward, December 2022, I got up on stage. That was a proud moment of me, by the way, because I get up there, I should say, I was meant to graduate in July 2022, but like I told you guys, life is never a straight line. I failed my exam. Just picture this. I have uncles and aunties all around the world. Now, about January, February time, I'm calling them saying, hey auntie, hey uncle, book your hotels, book your everything, I'm paying for it, maybe not, but book everything. Come down here, we're going to celebrate my graduation ceremony. Now, June time, I find out that I failed my maths that I have to resit my exam in August, which will eventually push my graduation ceremony for December. Now I'm calling my aunties and uncles again. Say, sorry auntie and uncle, you know what, I know I told you I was going to pay for your ticket, but doesn't look like we're going to celebrate in June, okay? Maybe December. But I got the job done. And that was one of the proudest moments of my life, because I got up there. I don't know these people, by the way, because they're not from my cohort. I don't know these people. I just thought to myself, you know what, whilst I'm there, I'm going to enjoy myself. I got up there, I took a selfie. My parents were there, my aunties and my uncles, they came. They're somewhere behind there, you can't even see them, but somewhere there. They're very proud of me. And that was in December 2022. I finally graduated from the University of Manchester after a long journey of studying pharmacy. Maybe give it up for Paul. Now, which then brings me to this moment. Toastmasters. I told you, thanks to an individual called Alex, this is not Alex by the way, thanks to an individual called Alex who introduced me to Toastmasters and Manchester communicators, I was able to find all of you. I was able to find Toastmasters, and it completely changed my life. And it changed my life for multiple reasons. First one is because I was able to find a community of people that supported me along the way. I was able to find a platform where I can come to every single week, because I'm actually a member of two clubs, Manchester Communicators and Data United Communicators. So I would practice every single week. I'll put the reps in. But more importantly, I was able to find mentors along the way. And that's what Toastmasters does. Hopefully, those of you who are sat here, maybe those of you who are not even part of Toastmasters yet, you can find somebody that can support you along the way, because there's a lot of experienced Toastmasters here. So I was fortunate enough to be connected to this individual, DTM Tracy Baker, who actually I have never met in my life, in person. But he is a member of Data United Communicators in the United States, Dayton, Ohio. And when I became a member of their club, he started mentoring me along the way. And the beauty of Toastmasters is that when you get into a system and you find a mentor, they can get you to places where you thought you could have never gone to. And that's why I say, I'm surprised but not surprised at the same time as to how far I've come, starting from giving my first table topic to getting to this stage now. We're actually getting an opportunity to share with all of you my story. So my advice would be, those of you maybe who are new here, or even if you're not new, grab somebody who's been around here for a long time, right? And seek their advice and mentorship, because you never know how far they can take you. Thanks to Toastmasters, I was able to find friends all around the world. I was able to visit some clubs in different countries during COVID online for now, but I'm planning a few trips in 2025 already. This is what Toastmasters can give you, and has been giving me, and hopefully all of you. And thanks to Toastmasters as well, I was able to start doing this as my career alongside pharmacy. So I thought, you know what, let me take my voice, let me take my story and the lessons that I'm learning along the way, and see maybe how I can reach out outside of Toastmasters too, to different organizations and add value to them. And this is what I think Toastmasters does to all of us too. Start thinking about how we can impact people, not only within our community of Toastmasters, because we are all personally orientated, we like personal development here, right? How can you also impact people outside of your community, outside of Toastmasters? And maybe encourage some people to come here and be part of this club or your club too. So what I want you to do now is, I want you to take a minute to actually think about your Toastmasters journey. Because some of you have been around for maybe a year, some of you have been around for a longer time, okay? But take a minute to actually reflect and think about your Toastmasters journey. And think about it from 4 different pillars. So the first pillar is, what is it that you love about Toastmasters? The second pillar, what is it that you get challenged by? what is it that you failed at, and then what is it that you succeeded at. Just focus on those 4 pillars.